Thinking Fast and Slow is a book about how our brains work. It's written by a man named Daniel Kahneman. He's very smart and knows a lot about thinking. Our brain has two ways of thinking. One way is fast, the other way is slow. Let's talk about both ways. The fast way is like a superhero. It helps us make decisions quickly. If a ball is coming at us, the fast way helps us catch it. It's like having a superpower that makes us react without thinking. But sometimes, the fast way can make mistakes. It might make us think something is true when it's not. It's like a friend who talks before thinking. Sometimes this friend is right, but sometimes they're wrong. The slow way is like a wise old person. It thinks carefully and takes its time. If we have a hard math problem, the slow way helps us solve it. It's like having a wise teacher in our head who helps us understand things. The slow way is very smart, but it's also very slow. It doesn't like to work all the time. It lets the fast way do most of the work. Daniel Kahneman tells us that both ways are important. We need the fast way to help us do things quickly. We need the slow way to help us do things carefully. He also tells us about tricks our brain can play. Sometimes, our brain makes us think something is easy when it's hard. Sometimes, it makes us think something is true when it's not. For example, if we see a happy face, we might think happy thoughts. If we see a sad face, we might think sad thoughts. Our brain is tricking us into feeling something because of what we see. Another trick is when we think something is true because we hear it a lot. If everyone says a movie is good, we might think it's good too. But that might not be true. We have to think for ourselves. Daniel Kahneman also talks about money. He says that people are funny about money. Sometimes we spend money without thinking. Sometimes we save money and don't know why. Our brain is playing tricks on us again. He also talks about being happy. He says that being happy is not just about having fun. It's also about feeling good about our life. We can be happy even when things are hard. At the end of the book, Daniel Kahneman gives us some advice. He says we should use both the fast way and the slow way. We should let the fast way help us when we need to be quick. We should let the slow way help us when we need to be careful. He also says we should watch out for the tricks our brain plays. We should think for ourselves and not just believe everything we hear or see. Thinking fast and slow is like a guide to our brain. It helps us understand how we think. It helps us be better thinkers. It's a book that makes us smarter. It helps us know when to think fast and when to think slow. It helps us know when to trust our brain and when to be careful. It's a book that's not just for grown-ups. It's for anyone who wants to know more about how their brain works. It's for anyone who wants to be a thinking detective and solve the mysteries of the mind. That wraps up another episode of our wonderful journey through books. We traveled page by page, chapter by chapter, discovering the magic that lies within each story. If you enjoyed this adventure and you can't wait to jump into our next book, be sure to follow us on Spotify so you never miss a story. Remember, each book opens a new world, and we're here to guide you through it, one summary at a time. We're making books simpler, easier, and more exciting just for you. Don't forget, you can share our podcast with your friends and family so they can join us on our reading adventures too. And until our next book-filled journey, keep reading, keep learning, and most importantly, keep dreaming. This is Read is the podcast that brings books to life for everyone.